This is Underground Operations. Hello, friends, fans, family, fiends. You know who you are, you fiends. Fiends of Undergroundopolis. Thanks for joining me on another Wednesday night. And I tell you, this is going to be an interesting one. But before we get into that, I just want to say I am thinking about live streaming again. I just want to, it seemed to work before, but I want to just explain. It's kind of hard to do. It is, but it isn't. It's hard to find these because most of my guests have day jobs and stuff, it's so much easier just to pre-record, and I get some of my better guests, but when I work on their schedule, I'm thinking in March we will start live streaming again. We may take baby steps, maybe do it once a month, test the water, see how it goes. And I know when I was doing it, the people watching it got a kick out of it, and I really think my guests got a kick out of it too, because they got to interact live. And so we're going to start testing that water again, and I'm rambling on, and I'm going to bring on my guest. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
Hi, I'm Alan Griffith from the band Changing the Design, and that's from Reno, Nevada, in the West.
So, you've been to the Clown Motel.
Yeah, I've driven by it a number of times, and I still have not been in. But
I thought you'd been in.
No, I've parked by it. And I'm like, what's going on? It is good though.
The next time I play Vegas, I'm making a trip. I'm going to make a trip.
Well, look me up, because I might. If you're going in, I'm going in with you.
Oh, I was going to go last time. we wound up going to seeing that damn rock and those painted rocks in the desert somewhere.
Yeah,
it was dumb.
Were they painted?
Yeah, they're these painted rocks. The guys in the band really liked it. I was like, this is stupid. Let's go see the clown.
Well.
All right. I'm getting long-winded tonight, man. What are you going to tell us about?
Just about the album release. So I released an album called Dissection Experiment, and there were a lot of songs on the album, but we're slowly dripping singles out after the fact. So that's what I want to talk about, and we're going to get some live shows going this year, and hopefully some decent touring as well.
I may have forgotten to mention that this will air the 28th of February.
Cool. Okay. So, I'm on.
So, anyway,
happy 28th of February.
So, how many songs are going to be on the record?
14 songs.
Damn.
I know, it's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always approach it kind of like a book. I kind of have a problem with writing one song and then releasing it and then another song. So each song is like a chapter in the book for me. For this time in my life, it's like I have to have a beginning, middle, and end basically to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be, in a chronological order. But if I release a song, I'm like, oh, that should have been with the other collection, So I got to do an album.
Do you think it's better to release singles before you?
It's hard. It's hard. I have a little bit of the old school, a lot of the old school mentality, to where I believe that there's a whole work that needs to be digested to even digest a song. So it's like you need to digest the things around it as well to see what the artist is talking about. The problem is I don't know that people want to spend that kind of time. So I guess if in today's culture, if you don't want to spend that kind of time, then the single is the way to go. But, the way I approach things, it's from a very critical thinking and philosophical point of view, and just kind of like, how do I approach the world, and how can other people, it's kind of like an artistry with the way I look at the world. I just look at it as an artist. So for me to just put out a single, it's really hard for me to sum shit up in a single.
Yeah.
There's just like a whole journey involved in there.
So, do you play all the instruments?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. Not live.
Right. But when did you start taking lessons or?
For the most part, I'm self-taught. Like guitar is self-taught. Drums, I was in, I got my first drum set in 4th grade, and I taught myself. I was watching my brother. He had like a high school band, and I just kind of learned some things, picking up tools and tricks from those guys. And then I was in marching band. I did have some schooling when it came to the percussion side, but everything else is self-taught.
So you started pretty young, though. That's still pretty young.
Yeah, it was young, and I actually had a guitar before that. I used to get my mom's acoustic, and it's not like I really knew how to play it, but I would hold it up against me, and
You look cool.
It just felt good. Like the point of that was just, it's a hollow body, and playing the strings, it just was a vibration that felt really good, felt right to me. And that's actually why I have not super low anymore, but I have low tunings that I play in. And it's not really because I super enjoy the sound of it. It's because I love the feel of it. So it's a very feel-based thing for me.
Yeah. So Heartstring Symphony, do you make the videos too?
Yeah, the lyric videos I do. I tried to farm it out a little bit, but again, I try and think. I'm really trying to put. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's really deep what I'm trying to convey, and just throwing something on regular, just somebody wouldn't get it. There's a whole, like with Heartstring Symphony, I spent way too long on a lyric video for that. It was like 100 and something hours, because I was trying to find the right collection of images and shoot the right collection of images to piece a story together, because I am telling a story, and if somebody can connect to that story, it's really important to me, because the story I'm telling is important because it's my story with that song. So the way I pieced it together is like, you would really have to, it's very abstract what the story is, so you really have to watch it to know what the storyline is. But it makes me feel better about, it's not $100,000 release or something, but it makes me feel good about releasing something that again, it feels good to me, putting the work in.
Well, you did put work in, and it's certainly paying off, because it's already at 14,000 views.
Yeah. Trying to get it up there, and I try and use really high quality images, and I am concerned about quality. That's really important to me.
So what would you, what is this, without giving too much away, what would you say the story of Heartstring Symphony is?
So the story in the lyrics, and actually the music, because I write the music before I do the lyrics, it is a story, my connection to music through the way the world works. So there's a specific time of year that I can't handle my own emotional processing of things. And it's like before the first snow comes, it's like when the seasons change, I just feel like it's like super inspirational, but it's also all the feelings all at once. And I'm like, how do I deal with this? And I've had that since I was a kid. So Heartstring is the story of me actually taking the time and really just being open enough to process what I think I'm feeling. And it's like, it's like the space in between that means something to me. It's like the way the air smells. It's when the trees start changing and the leaves start falling. It's like the sound of the leaves and all of those things. It's like, it's really in depth to me. So the story of the video is actually, all right. Oh, there's a castle in the video. The castle is me, and all this stuff is happening around me. So the feeling is a bunch of nostalgia when I have this buildup of feelings. It's like, I feel like I've done this before. I feel like I've been here already. I feel like I've done this 1,000 times before, and I used to call it vampire syndrome, because it's like, I feel like everything that's happening in life, I've seen it before. It's like just a massive case of nostalgia. And so anyway, I'm telling the story of this castle is happening. There's so many things happening around, and there's a woman in the video, and that is representing the natural changes in the world. So she is nature. And so in between, there's a part where the castle, there's like these fireballs that are going, and the castle like goes away, and then it starts floating through the water. It's almost like a Viking's funeral for this castle. And then the woman shows back up again and is summoning. There's like these papers flying around, and she's summoning something. And what it is my energy. It's my musical energy. It's like the cycle of my music and the cycle of nature. So that's telling the story of me, the cycle of nature, and her representing the cycle of nature through there. So it's it's a long way to go for that, but it's, if you know that I'm a castle and you know that she's nature, you start realizing that kind of what the video is about.
Well, you're one hell of a narrator. You are, man.
I have to learn to be, because it's been hard for me to talk about things that are deep. It's like I don't write from the surface at all. So if I'm trying to be my authentic self, I can't let that go,
So since it is my show, we get to talk about my favorite song, which is For the Record. Tell me all about For the Record. Where did that come from?
For the Record was from the album before this, which was called Romantoterrorism. That album I wrote that with the owner of the studio that I worked at for such a long time. I co-wrote lyrics with him. His name is Dr. Davis. So we did that, and we recorded with one of my good friends, Tom Gordon, in the studio. We spent so much time on this album as well, and it was so much fun. But For the Record is a song about being in a relationship with somebody who does not understand your desire for music. And I keep saying that this isn't something that's going to go away. This is me, and I can't articulate it more that it's not going away. So For the Record is me stating, and this was happening while I was writing that record. So it was like, for the record, this is exactly how I feel. I've told you this 100 times, and then for the record, this I'm using this for the record. I'm going to put this song on the record. And then just for the record, for everyone I'm putting this on the record for everyone to know what's going on in my life right here. So that's what the song is about. It's about the processing, really the loss of a relationship because of music.
Yeah. I can totally relate too.
Yeah.
I totally can relate.
It's on the other, it's really hard to be with a musician.
Yes.
Like I am married now, and I have 2 children, but it's like, it's hard. I don't envy anybody that is in the position of being with a musician. Right. It's got to be just really hard.
Yeah, it is. And especially one that's also a recording engineer. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The hours are weird. And I have so much love and support here, from my wife, that I couldn't ask for more when it comes to that. But yeah, the hours are strange.
So you got a website or anything you want to plug in before we wrap it up?
Yeah, changingthedesign.com, and you can go to Facebook/changingthedesign. So any place you go, Changing the Design, search it.
So there will be a link to that in the description. There will be a link to the videos in the description. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. If you like this show, be sure to subscribe to Changing the Design. Be sure to follow all their social medias and everything. It sucks that we have to use that because I don't like it. I don't know very many musicians that really like having to use social media, to be honest, but it's like you got to now.
Yep. I'm still learning.
All right, man. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thanks, Rob.
That is all our time we have for now. Thank you for listening to Undergroundopolis. Remember, we do this every Wednesday night, bringing you new and exciting artists every week. Be sure to hit up their websites and social media and stream or download their music. If you like this show, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, any streaming platform, and leave us a review as well. I'm your host, Rob Lyon, signing off.